Welcome everyone to another video, and today we're going to take a look at what I feel is the best duo currently in the Great League in the form of Forretress and Gliscor. Forretress being a bug and steel type Pokemon with access to the moveset Volt Switch, Rock Tomb and Earthquake. He has a pretty all-rounded coverage, with Volt Switch being able to hit the flyers, Rock Tomb being able to hit to give us a debuff, and Earthquake being able to hit all those rock and steel type Pokemons that you might face. And then you have Gliscor with Sand Attack and with Aerial Ace and Earthquake to cover Forretress's weaknesses of fire types as well as ground types that will resist the Volt Switch and Rock Tombs. So it is a pretty comprehensive duo right there, with Forretress also being able to handle the ice types and the water types that Gliscor might not necessarily like to face. And to round out this team, we have Claydol as usual with Mudslap, Rock Tomb and Scorching Sands. Standard moveset, very good against the overall meta currently. The main weakness for this team is a Talonflame, but for other fire types, this team will be able to handle it with Claydol as well as Gliscor. So going on to the first battle here for this video, we have a Credilli in the lead. So for this one, we will stay in because Credilli's fast move of Bullet Seed will be doubly resisted by Forretress. Even though Gliscor does have Aerial Ace in the back, it will take neutral damage from both Rock Tomb as well as Grass Knot, and you will not be able to debuff it in any way, such as what Forretress will be able to do here. So after we have already debuffed the Credilli, we will be safe swapping into our Claydol in order to bait out anything that Gliscor might have a hard time against, such as the Sableye. As you can see here, Mudslaps did chunk it down to half, and we will be able to come back in with our Forretress to hopefully take them down and get some energy advantage for the mid game here. They will let this one go, but we will be able to tank this foul play much better now. It will be double debuffed, and as you can see here, it only takes about 25%, and we will do 2 more Rock Tombs just so that we have the optimal timing to throw this Rock Tomb against Credilli. And they bring in a Bastiodon, in which case here it is a good game because, as you can see from the moveset on the left hand side of the screen, all 3 Pokemons in our team will have a good time against things such as Bastiodon, such as a Clodsire, things that are very weak to ground type, because we have 2 Pokemons with Earthquake and one with Scorching Sand. So in this team is very anti-ground type. As you can imagine, no ground type will be able to beat this team unless it is something that can spam moves that are other than ground type, such as Swampert with those Hydro Cannon spams. So going on to the next battle here, Malamar, we will be staying in because we want them to switch into whatever it is that they have in the back after throwing a superpower. Of course, that superpower has to be shielded because superpower is neutral, but as you can see here, we will be coming out with a lot of energy for this Carbink, and we will debuff it just a bit more to lower its already low attack stat for our Claydol to have a better time. But they decided to swap back into their Malamar, which is fine. We are going to debuff them and immediately go into our Gliscor, and we are just going to keep spamming those Aerial Aces, because Aerial Ace, even though it is neutral, it is going to be a stab moveset from Gliscor, and it will chunk that Malamar quite low. And hopefully we are able to take their shield here and save ours for this Carbink. And we thought that we could maybe get to Earthquake against this Carbink, but unfortunately we are not able to because the Rock Throws are neutral. But we will swap back out into our Claydol and seal the deal with the Mudslaps against the Carbink, and throwing the Rock Tomb here against the Malamar, because we are unsure whether or not they already have a foul play banked. But most probably Earth Power would have been suffice in that respect. I mean Scorching Sands, sorry, not Earth Power. So to the third game, we have a Wigglytuff in the lead, and they immediately swap out into Gastrodon, and we swap into our Gliscor because Gliscor does have a better matchup against Gastrodon, being doubly resisted to the Mud Slaps. But we will have to be considerate of a Water Pulse coming from the Gastrodon, which will be super effective, and that's why we actually shielded the first attack from it, because they were already at a Water Pulse if I recall correctly. I could be wrong. Let me know down below whether I was right in my timing to shield that, or whether I just got baited hard by my opponent here. And they swap back out into Wigglytuff, which is fine. We are going to swap back into our Forretress. We are going to start debuffing this Wigglytuff, and we don't mind if they throw this charge move against us because all of them will be resisted, and we are just going to ramp up the energy. We're going to bank all that energy for later on. We're going to debuff whatever comes back in later, and they will not have anything for us because here they have a Rhydon as their third mon, Rhydon being a rock ground type who also has access to Mud Slap and also has access to Surf, which was buffed about 2 seasons ago, and it just keeps popping up here and there because it's quite bulky and it does have access to a very good coverage. But in this game we do not meet Rhydon, but instead we meet a Shadow Marowak in the lead, which is bad for our Fortress. We immediately swap out into a Claydol to bait out either a Grass type or an Ice type from their team, in which case we did in the form of Dewgong. Our Gliscor will appreciate this very much in the end game because we will be able to make sure that it stays as far away as possible from our Gliscor, and we will be able to just farm this Dewgong down and with Volt Switches, and we will have the energy to come back in and throw the Earthquake against this Shadow Marowak, and we will immediately swap into our Gliscor, and they have a Toxapex in the back, so this is a very good game for them as we have shield advantage and we will be outpacing them to those Earthquakes, and they don't have any chances at all in this game. So to our last battle here of the video, we have an Azumarill in the lead. We will just be staying in. My mistake here was letting go of the first Ice Beam, which will do the most damage because Rock Tomb will cause the subsequent Ice Beams to cause less will do less damage to us, and that is why we had to shield the second Ice Beam just so that there is no potential for them to fall farm down or getting sniped. And they have a Diggersby in the back, and as you can see here, it's already a double bulk team, and I was expecting the worst after this because usually with these two Pokemons you will have another third very bulky team, but in this instance we are just hoping for something that Claydol can handle in the end game, and we come in with our Gliscor, start spamming those charge move against Diggersby, because Diggersby will only be able to throw a neutral non-stab Fire Punch against our Gliscor, and in the back they will have an Alolan Sandslash here against us. We will be throwing a Rock Tomb just so that we can nerf their Shadow Claw and Ice Punch damage, and hopefully survive the next Ice Punch, which we do because now they are already debuffed. But at this range it will be enough for sand attacks from our Gliscor to seal the deal. So that is my battle showcase of what I feel is the best duo in the Great League. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, and also subscribe to the channel for notification on when the next video is up. That's all from me, and I see you in the next one.